Good morning. Good morning. How about that?
Oh.
How about those guys?
Right?
How about Bill Hite? Like getting my white man overbite on this early in the morning. Thanks. So
We usually don't see that till much later in the day.
right. Welcome. I'm Larry Platt of the Philadelphia Citizen.
I'm Roxanne Patel Shepelavy, also of the Philadelphia Citizen.
Thank you for joining us here today. We have a jam-packed day of programming, so we want to get right to it so that we don't fall too far behind. We want to begin by acknowledging the team that put all of this together today. The Citizen team: Dave Williams, Corey Moscow, Josh Middleton, Jess Press, Catherine Rappin, Shadman Udine, the wonderful folks here at the Comcast Technology Center, and importantly, all our black T-shirted volunteers. A round of applause for our volunteers, please. And we owe a huge debt of gratitude to our sponsors and our partners, including visionary sponsors Comcast, NBC Universal, FS Investments, Dilworth Paxson, the Pamela and A.J. Raju Foundation, Darko Capital, Campus Apartments, United Way, and Spring Point Partners. And please check out the full list of our sponsors and partners. The citizen community we're building wants to be as intentional as we can about our collective civic influence. And we can't stress enough that all of our sponsors and partners share the problem-solving values that you'll hear on display today on the stage. Finally, I'd like to also acknowledge our board members, Chairman A.J. Raju, my brother from an Indian mother, and Bob Keith, Karen Keating-Mara, David Edelman, Mia Fioravante, Diana Lind, and Ali Velshi.
So those of you who were here last year will recall that we don't want today to be just about listening. We want to actually see some of the solutions that are presented here on the stage come to life in Philadelphia. Thanks to the generous support of Spring Point Partners, last year we launched the Jeremy Nowak Urban Innovation Award, named for our late brilliant chairman. And we gave $50,000 to the Women's Community Revitalization Project to lead a community effort to ground truth every plot of land in Gray's Ferry, a neighborhood threatened with gentrification. Thank you. Yes,
yeah.
Good.
Let's hear it for ground truthing.
This year, we are going to do it again, and we need your help. So the way this works is that on page 3 of your program, you'll see how you can vote for the ideas that you see here. They basically rate them. So you turn your phones to the phillycitizen.org/vote, and throughout the day, there will be some of the solutions that you see here will pop up on the screen, and you can rate them from 1 lightning bolt to 5 lightning bolts. In a few weeks, we'll announce the top vote getters and put out an RFP for organizations who are inspired by one of those ideas to bring that idea to Philadelphia. We're also going to launch next year another idea from last year's Ideas We Should Steal Festival. Along with DC-based Accountability Lab, WURD Radio, and United Way, we're going to make Philadelphia the first city in the country to hold an Integrity Icon contest to celebrate the best, most effective, most integral public servant in the city. So the idea of this, as Sherry Lee Erasmus said last year at the festival, is sort of change the narrative. Instead of naming and shaming all the bad actors in our civic life, we want to name and fame those city workers who are going above and beyond to make life better for the city and the people who live in it. We'll be launching that in January, and we'll ask all of you to nominate incredible public servants in the city, and then to vote for our finalists.
Finally, a couple of reminders. Send your thoughts throughout the day to hashtag IWSSFest, on Twitter at @ThePhilaCitizen, and Instagram, The Philadelphia Citizen. Also, Head House Books, a local independent bookseller, critically, is here Up there, behind that wall, they have a space. We have 30 of our speakers today have books, so you can support Head House, buy their books, and we've also sort of culled a list of our favorite books about cities, which are also on sale up there. Also look for an email from us later in the week asking for your feedback on today's event, alongside information on how we can all keep this conversation going. You'll get an invitation to an ongoing solutions-oriented Slack channel so that year-round we can all roll up our sleeves together and do the important work of citizenship, which would make a prophet of Mark Twain, who once observed that citizenship is what makes a republic. Monarchies can get along without it. And now I'd like to introduce Delilah Wilson-Scott, Senior Vice President for Comcast NBC Universal Community Foundation. Delilah.
Good morning. All right, am I on? Oh, good. Well, welcome, everybody. I do have some brief remarks, but was there anybody else dying to hear Dr. Haidt sing? The first time I heard his booming voice, I definitely wanted to know if he could sing, so now I know. So thank you, Dr. Haidt. But welcome to the Ralph J. Roberts Forum at the Comcast Technology Center. So do we have any first-timers here? Beautiful. Well, thank you and welcome to our incredible space. And I want to talk a little bit why I think it's fitting for today's event. So anyone who's worked with Ralph Roberts, I'm sure some of you in the room have met him when he was here, but he was a man of many ideas, and he was very invested in the success of our city here in Philadelphia. And when we thought about the types of events we wanted to host us in this space, in this building, I think today is a perfect example of what that is. You know, Brian worked with a lot of different people to bring this vision to life. It's a tribute to our city, to our greatness. All sorts of positive creativity, collaboration, solutions happen in this building, and that's what today is about, bringing together a number of diverse perspectives. So first, I also want to give a shout out to the Campus Center team, so Nick Sweat, Tiffany Numis, our sound AV team, a number of different servers. As you see them throughout the day, they made today possible, so please say thank you, but let's give them an applause. And while you're here, and since this is definitely about ideas, please do take a moment to visit our Universal Sphere that you saw in the lobby. There's an incredible experience that's all about celebrating ideas. So today, ideas we should steal. So I remember when Larry was first talking to me about this event. And you know, it was an incredible concept. But there's also, you know, does Philadelphia, do we need to be stealing ideas from other people? I would argue we have the talent, resources, capital, energy, frustration with all the challenges in our city to get things done. But I would also say, if we don't have to do it alone and we can do it better with others, why not, right? Why win in overtime when we can win in regulation? But we did win. We did bring home the W. So, but I think that's an important note today. So there's a bit of advice I'd like to offer. And as you hear a number of different ideas today, make sure you steal shamelessly. There are going to be a number of different ideas. Bring those ideas together. But there's three pieces. And in that spirit of stealing, sort of my paraphrase of a TED Talk that Seth Godin gave a few years ago. But number one, if you do steal something that you hear today that you're inspired by, make sure you give credit where credit is due, right? Let's not pass that off as our own. Number two, make sure you make that idea better. If you're going to steal an idea, you better be adding to it. You're accountable for bringing something else to that table. Put that Philly spin on it, right? That's what's going to make it better and make it so damn good that somebody wants to steal it from you. So welcome. Congratulations to the team for putting together. We have an incredible lineup of speakers, and thank you for being here.
That's great, thank you. Look at, how about Delilah dropping some Eagles knowledge? That's awesome. All right, let's get this party started. He's not just another pretty face with a great haircut. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the smartest anchor on TV, Citizen Board member Ali Velshi.
Love it. Good morning, everybody. I'm the smartest anchor on TV who happens to be in the room right now, assuming there are no other anchors in the room. Thank you for that, Roxanne and Larry, and it is my absolute pleasure to be here. I have to say, if you've taken a look at the program, it's kind of remarkable how well curated this is. This is a remarkably timely and important festival. First of all, I like the idea that it's a festival because it is a celebration. This is a city in which remarkable things are happening, and we are in a time in this country when remarkable things are needed. And they're happening in some places, so Larry and team have decided we should just steal some of them. And you will hear from people in other cities or who have been doing things around the country who are, that we can do here. Philadelphia is yet another place in my life that I have adopted. I have moved a lot in my life, and I happened upon Philadelphia somewhat accidentally because it came with my wife, who is in the audience. And I have really come to love this city and this idea that the things that we think are wrong at many levels of society can be changed at this level. Right now, in fact, it's arguable that cities are where a lot of the best action is happening. When you think about how stuck we are on some intractable issues of our time, it is cities that can move the needle on major matters, including things like climate change. We're also in the birthplace of liberty and democracy and justice in our country, all things which are under some stress in our country. So civic engagement is the first place where we can push back against this. Obviously, voting is a remarkably clear place, but there are lots of levers that we can push at this level that can end up making us all more engaged, making our city stronger, making the voices that we put into the national dialogue stronger. I think it's possible in the time that I've been in the United States and the time that many people have lived here for all of their lives, there may not have been a more important time to be an engaged public citizen than today. And there may not be a more effective place to be that engaged public citizen than in your city. So today we're going to hear about things that have been done elsewhere, things that have been done here, things that can be changed to make things better for all of us as we continue to rededicate ourselves to a society that works properly, works for everyone, rewards merit and hard work, offers justice to its participants. There are some remarkable topics we're going to touch on today. I'll be moderating a few of them, but we're looking at how cities spend money, how to deal with growth, how to deal with news in an age of alternative facts, which is something that's interesting to me in particular. Gun violence, another area in which cities are able to and have proved to make more progress, cities and states, than the federal government has. Public servants. Does America need a mayor? These are amazing topics that we're dealing with at the moment, and one of the things that is particularly of interest in this country is its poverty rate. There are structural things about Philadelphia which cause poverty to be an outsized problem compared to other cities its size. And we're going to be talking about some of those things and some of the ways to mitigate that. And ultimately, we're going to be talking to two of this country's most amazing attorneys general about the things that they have done. In particular, the two you are going to hear from today. There are many in America who are doing great things, but they are solving for specific crises that have not been able to be solved on a national level. So by the end of today, you should have some really good ideas about the problems that are out there, the ways they can be solved, the best ideas that others have employed to do it, but most importantly, that you are here indicates that you are in some fashion interested in being a participant in making this city, this country, and this world a more important place. And if you've ever been interested in that, or your kids have ever been interested in that, there is possibly no more important time than right now. Civil liberties are under assault across the world. Democracy is under assault across the world. Journalism and truth are under assault across the world. Basic human rights are under assault across the world. Fortunately, most of those things are not under assault in our city, but the stronger we can be here, the greater voice we can have in this country in deciding the representatives who we send to city council, to the state house, to the United States Congress, and to the world, in how we nurture business, in how we bring entrepreneurs to this city or grow them in this city and work with our great universities, in how we contribute our voice to the topics of social justice that are more crucial today than they have been in a generation, some argue in longer than that, possibly in the history of our country. I just want you to remember the day and what it means today. We are here celebrating ideas and celebrating Philadelphia and trying to find ways to improve it. This is the day on which it has been announced that articles of impeachment have been drawn up and will be put forward. We are struggling for the soul of this country, and while some of you may think this is a Washington problem and it's about somebody or some political party, this is born out of something that is much bigger than that. This is born out of something we've seen in Brexit. It's born out of elections we've seen in Western Europe. It's born out of the Arab Spring. It's born out of this concept that maybe everybody isn't born equal. Maybe there are some people who are haves and some people who are have-nots. And maybe I'm not included in the decision-making about me. Maybe I don't have the voice that I'm supposed to have. And it causes people to get into their political corners and make decisions that are ultimately detrimental, not just to them and where they live, but to the world. This all starts with people deciding how to make their lives better or how to torch the place. And the torchers are winning for a little while. So we just need to decide that those of you who have come out to say, we're not going to torch the place, we really love it, we're going to be an example, we're going to be better, we're going to be stronger, we're going to be more effective, we're going to have our voices heard. That's the importance of today. This isn't another conference. This isn't another thing to come and hear people who you've read about. This is actually a place to engage in conversation about the things that are wrong in our democracy, in our economy, in our society, in our justice system, and to figure out ways that you can be part of the fix. The good news is everybody you are going to hear from today has been part of the fix, here or elsewhere, in small ways that you've never heard about and in big ways that you've read about and are famous. But we're going to share that. You should leave brimming with excitement today about the things that can actually be done, and knowing that there are people who are actually doing them. So when you listen to me on the news and you get depressed, this is the antidote. There's nothing depressing you're going to hear. You're going to hear statistics that get you down a little bit, but you know them anyway. You just may not know the facts, but you'll know. You know there's poverty. You know there's inequality. You know that justice does not shine its light everywhere. You know that part. You're going to hear about people who are doing remarkable, amazing things to make that right, and they really are. And that's what keeps me going every day, because if you live in my world, it is hard to sometimes get out there and think that things are really good. But things are really good because there are remarkable people who just dedicate their lives, their resources, their intellect, their money, and their time to making things better.